Everybody, Dave here, Hidden Freedom, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to go through a lot of popular income ETFs and look at the total return for all those ETFs. I did individual videos on pretty much all of these except for NUSI. So I did an individual video on DIVO, how that was taxed. Did a video on JEPI as well. In addition to that, I also did one on QYLD, XYLD, and RYLD. Did not do a video on NUSI. This is only valid, this video is only valid for 2021 because if these are taxed differently in previous years, I don't have that information. And for 2022, they could quite possibly change the way some of these are taxed, like RYLD, XYLD, QYLD, for example, should have been almost all return of capital. And they were not for 2021. So what we're looking at in this video is we're going to be looking at the total return for 2021, and it's only valid for 2021. So if you're interested in seeing future videos like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe, set that bell notification so you get notified when I send a new video out. Just want to remind you that I'm not a tax professional, I'm not a CPA, and this is not tax advice. All right, what we're looking at here is a spreadsheet I put together because this is going to be the way that we're going to display what we need to display. We got a starting investment there is $100,000. Now we could change that to anything we want. $10,000. I'm just going to use $100,000. I'm also going to have the tax bracket set to 22% because I do believe that most people would probably fall into that bracket. And what I have here is I got some hidden rows in there, which we'll reveal going through the video. Individually down here, I have all these different sheets, and for every one of those sheets down there, I basically transferred the information I did for all the individual videos for these particular ETFs, and that has the breakdown for how everything was taxed there. So we got ordinary, qualified, long-term capital gains. We got return of capital there. And then the tax rate is getting pulled from this number right here. So that's kind of how those are all set up. So every one of these is kind of looking like that there. In addition to that, we'd also have all of the dividend information here for every one of the ETFs. So you can see that there. And I pulled that from Seeking Alpha, by the way, which I used in the videos that I did previously on every one of these, with the exception of NUSI. NUSI was 100% return of capital. So that's the reason why I didn't do a video on NUSI. All right, going back here, what we have is we have the ticker here. Before I even get started here, I just want to let you know, I know some people said that I need to make the screen bigger, but this is the biggest it's going to go. Unless I zoom super far in and then, basically have to scroll over to the left and to the right and up and down, this is the best it's going to get. So hopefully you're just viewing this on a laptop or a computer desktop or something like that. All right, we got a row there. We got QYLD, which is the worst performing, of course. With starting value $22.69, ending value, this is for 2021, $22.19. We got starting shares there, 4,407 shares, 0.23. Ending value, $97,796.39. Capital appreciation, we lost $2,203.61. Dividends a share is $2.85. We got the dividend income, $12,563.24. Got the dividend yield, comes out to about 12.56%. Ending investment, so you take the ending value plus the dividend income, we come out to $110,359.63. Total return would be 10.36% for 2021, but you got to take into account the taxes due. And the taxes due at a 22% bracket would be $2,763. Effective tax rate is 22%. Why is that, Dave? Well, easily because nothing fell into qualified dividends. Nothing fell into long-term capital gains. It all fell into the tax bracket. So in that case here, ordinary dividends, which is taxed at 22% here. And then we got the short-term capital gains, which is taxed at the 22%. So that's the reason why the effective tax rate is 22%. Total return money there is $107,595. Total return percentage is 7.6% for 2021. So that 10.36% there, which probably everybody is going by, looks pretty good, right? The real value, unless you're in a tax-deferred account, is 7.6%. We have the next one in order here, and that's NUSI. Starting price was $27.42, ending price $27.92. Starting shares $36.46, ending value $101,823. Capital appreciation $1,823. Dividend per share is $2 and basically 17 cents. Dividend income $7,910. Dividend yield comes out to about 7.91% for 2021. Ending value $109,733. Total return 9.73. So it looks like QYLD is beating it out in 2021, except for you got to put the taxes in there. And how was NUSI taxed? Guess what? It was 100% return of capital. So tax due is 0, effective tax percentage 0. Total return $109,733. Total return 9.73% in 2021. We got the next ticker up there, XYLD, starting price $46, ending price $50.51, starting shares 2,166. We got ending value $109,423, capital appreciation $9,423, dividends per share $4.58. We got dividend income $99.29, so $9,929. You got dividend yield there, 9.93% there. Ending investment, $119,353. We got the total return there of 19.35%. That is looking absolutely fantastic there, except for you got to pay good old Uncle Sam from the government. We got tax due there, $2,184 of tax due. Effective tax percentage, 22%, because like we said earlier, that was all ordinary income, all ordinary dividend income, and all short-term capital gains. We got the total return money there, $117,168. Total return percentage, 17.17%. That's pretty darn amazing for 2021. Congratulations for any of you that had XYLD. We got the next one up here. That's RYLD. That's a lot of people's favorite. I had owned it in the past. I don't own it anymore. Starting price $22.37. Ending price $24.41. Starting shares 4,470. We got ending value $109,119. We got capital appreciation there, $9,119. Dividends per share, we got $3.01 roughly. We got dividend income, $13,474. We got dividend yield, comes out to 13.47%. Ending investment, $122,594. Total return percentage, 22.59%. Tax due, unfortunately, $2,964, comes out to effective rate of 22%. So just guess what? Just like QYLD and XYLD, it all came out to ordinary dividends and all came out to short-term capital gains, which is taxed at the effective rate there. And then we have the total return money, $119,629. Total return percentage, 19.63%. That's a pretty amazing year for RYLD. So far with these first four revealed, it looks like the RYLD is kicking everybody's butt at 19.63%. There's only 2 left to go. We have the next ticker up, and that is JEPI. That is absolutely one of my most favorite ETFs right there because it covers the big 3 things that I care about. A little bit of growth, a little bit of less volatility. In addition to that, it's got a pretty darn good yield as well, and it's pretty relatively low expense ratio. So that one is the best mix in my opinion. All right, we got JEPI here. Starting price, $55.14. Ending price there is $63.19. Starting shares, 1,813. We We got ending value, 114,599. We got capital appreciation there of 14,599. We got dividends per share, $4.16. Dividend income, 75.46 there. So it's the least amount of dividends, but it had the most amount of capital appreciation at this time so far. Dividend yield comes out to 7.55%. Ending investment, $122,000, 145. And we got total return there, 22.15%. Tax due, 1578. So that is so far one of the lowest taxes, with the exception of NUSI, which was all return of capital. Effective tax rate, 22.9%. So guess what? That one there is actually lower than our tax bracket of 22%. So if we go here and look at JEPI specifically, we know that we have a little bit of qualified income there, right? And that is taxed at, for most people, 15%. So this is more tax favorable. That's the reason why we don't have to pay the 22%. Total return money, $120,567. Total return percentage, 20.57%. So far, JEPI is beating everybody out. Next up is DIVO, another one of my favorites there. And everybody knows that I'm heavily invested into DIVO and JEPI. So guess what? Let's go through DIVO here and see how things sit. Starting price, $32.52. We got ending price, $38.19. Starting shares, 3,075. Ending value is $117,435. Capital appreciation, $17,435. We got dividends per share there, 1.82. We got dividend income, 56.19, so the lowest of all of the ETFs I have here. You got dividend yield comes out to 5.62%, which is actually pretty darn amazing for 2021. We got ending investment, $123,000, 0.54. We got total return percentage there, 23%. We got tax due there. Look at that, only $1,004 for DIVO. We got effective tax percentage, only 17.9. Why is that? Well, if we look over here at DIVO, guess what? We had ordinary, we had qualified, and we had long-term capital gains there. In addition to that, we also had return of capital. So we have three different things here that were more tax favorable than just the standard rate, right? We had qualified dividends, we had long-term capital gains, and return of capital there. And we only had one, there's a big chunk, by the way, but that fell into the ordinary, which fell into the standard tax rate, or the tax rate that we're going in this video, at 22%. And that is the reason why the effective tax rate is only 17.9%. Total return money there, $122,050. We got total return percentage, 22% for 2021. So we can tell from this video that QYLD here had the least amount of capital appreciation, and it actually ended up worse for the entire year at $107,000. Now, you did actually come out ahead, but inflation for 2021 was probably running about 7-8%. So you really pretty much were flat for 2021. Obviously, all of the other ones here did decently, probably outpaced inflation, at least on NUSI. Even though NUSI did not do very well at all in 2021, it's even doing worse here in 2022. And that's unfortunate. All of these, XYLD actually did okay. RYLD did pretty darn good. JEPI and DIVO just shined, and that was in an up market. Had decent returns, and those were more tax favorable than the YLDs. So also what I put down here at the bottom is I put the 10%, the 12, the 22, the 24, the 32, and the 35% tax brackets. And I just transferred the numbers down so we didn't have to basically change the tax percentage there. So I wanted everybody to be able to see this here, because all the ones that were taxed at whatever tax bracket they fell in, they actually get affected the higher you go in the tax bracket, right? So for example, We got 9% here was the total return on the 10% tax bracket. But once you jump up to the 35% tax bracket, it drops down to 5.96%. As you jump higher in these tax brackets, the ones that had the lower effective tax rate, they got affected less, right? So obviously, DIVO, for example, which only had at the 22%, it was 22.5%. We go up to the 35, look at it, only drops down to 21.67%, and that's because it had a lot of favorable tax income there, right? Like there was only one thing affected by that tax rate, and that was the ordinary income there, right? So when it comes to RYLD, XYLD, and QYLD, those get affected a lot more the higher you go up in the tax bracket because it had no really, had no tax favorable income at all, at least for 2021. So most people go by the total return percentage here. Most websites go by that because they don't know how these income ETFs are taxed. And this is a little misleading here, right? Look at this here. If we drop down to, we go up to a 35% tax bracket, which require people to make quite a bit of money. You drop down to less than a 6% total return. If you have to pay taxes there, you got to pay the government right there. So you got to pay all the government that money, right? And that's the reason why the total return matters. But unfortunately, unless you know how each one of these are taxed, and unfortunately, unless you do what I did and owned every single one of these ETFs for 2021, you would not know how they're all taxed. And so it's very difficult to project how they're going to be taxed. And I bet you there's not any other videos out there like this video that's showing this total return percentage there, which is the real number that everybody should be going by. But with income ETFs, it's very difficult to project that. With dividend ETFs like VYM, SCHD, it's a lot easier because most likely it's almost 100% qualified dividends. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. Appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.